Coming up on F1 24/7 this week, Ferrari to make Mick Schumacher's F1 decision later this year. Racing Point say that they will appeal if their car is declared illegal. Ferrari bosses say that they expect no Formula 1 wins until at least 2022. And I give you the latest update of Alex Zanardi. The name Schumacher is very synonymous with the world of Formula 1. That is of course down to 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher, the most successful man in Formula 1. For now at least anyway. And his son at the moment, Mick Schumacher, is currently racing in Formula 2. Now that has led to a lot of hype around young Mick Schumacher. A lot of people have been following him since his Formula 3 kind of days, maybe even before that, when he started out in go-karts. He's currently in Formula 2 right now with the Prima team, part of the Ferrari Drivers Academy program, which of course you would expect. And he's been tipped for about a number of years now to be in Formula 1 very, very soon. And that is because of his surname. Now, Ferrari team boss Matteo Binotto has spoken out about this and basically said that he needs to do well in Formula 2 this season to have a good chance of being promoted to Formula 1, possibly at least for 2021. Now, where is the possible destination for the young German? Well, he's got big links to Alfa Romeo should they not re-sign Antonio Giovinazzi, or if Kim Raikkonen decides to retire. Haas, they're quite uncomfortable with their drivers. They of course got a Ferrari power unit, so they've got links to Ferrari in that kind of direction. Could we see young Mick in Formula 1 with the Haas team? Or could we see him somewhere else? Maybe at the big team? Nah, not quite yet, in my opinion. Even though a lot of people are actually suggesting that he goes on and does that. So Binotto has basically just calmed down the media and just said, look, we are going to be... He didn't say looker, of course. He said, look, we are watching Mick Schumacher's progress. We are very happy with his progress this season, but there is improvement needed. And rightly so, because his first season in Formula 2, there was a lot of attention on young Mick. And he only scored one win in Hungary, which isn't too bad for your first year, but from what people were hyping him up as, you would expect him to win more races. But still though, Formula 2 is very competitive, so at least he got a race win under his belt. And he hasn't started off this season bad either. He's currently got 2 podiums to his name this season, heading into round 4 as we head to Silverstone. Now, in my opinion, I wasn't really a big Schumacher fan. I respect, of course, Michael Schumacher when he was in Formula 1 and the records that he holds at present time. And Mick has received a lot of hype. I think he's probably one of the most overhyped drivers in the lower ranks at the moment. And rightly so, because he's got Schumacher next to his name. He's the son of Michael Schumacher, one of the best, one of the greatest drivers ever in Formula 1, arguably the best in some cases. So if you're a big Schumacher fan, or you were back in the day, or if you were just I respect Schumacher, there's going to be a lot of hype on his son, even if he's not really that good. But I think Mick has got what it takes to be in Formula 1. Maybe there are some other drivers in F2 right now that are better than Mick, and maybe deserve to be in Formula 1 better or more than what Mick Schumacher does. But I think, with the name Schumacher comes a lot of pressure, like I said before, because everyone's expecting him to deliver like what his dad did. And that's not the case in any way. You should never do that with any particular driver. I've always said I'm not a fan of, this guy's the next Hamilton, this guy's the next Schumacher. It's like, you just added unnecessary pressure straight away. Get that off his back, because you're just going to, the young kid's going to bottle under all this pressure, all this limelight. And maybe Mick's used to it because, he grew up with his dad being successful in Formula 1 and even on his heroic return in 2010. In my opinion, yes, I do think Mick will be in Formula 1 one day. Next season, I think there's a chance, but I want him in Formula 1 because he deserves to be in Formula 1. He's not there because, this is Mick, this is Michael Schumacher's son, he's got the Schumacher name, he needs to be in Formula 1. I think there are a couple of other drivers that maybe do deserve it more, like Robert Schwartzman, who's currently won, 2 races, I think, so far this season, and he currently leads the Formula 2 standings. And I'm a big fan of Schwartzman, and I think he's got a really, really good chance of being in Formula 1. If he's not in Formula 1 and Mick is, and Schwartzman had a better season than Mick, I would say that's not really that fair on Robert. But other than that, maybe there's a possibility that they both could end up at Alfa Romeo, getting rid of Giovinazzi and possibly Kim Raikkonen retiring if he ever wants to. And yeah, I do believe that there is a lot of hype around Mick Schumacher. He's average, he's He's okay. He's not the worst driver ever in Formula 2. We know who that guy is anyway. And, you know, he has got a lot of prospect, I would say, but is he World Championship material? We are yet to see that. He's got to at least win or a challenge to win the Drivers' Championship in Formula 2 this season. Like I said, it's very competitive, very, very quick, very, very good. There's a boatload of talent in Formula 2 at this present time, even in Formula 3 to some degree. And it's going to be so exciting to see how he goes on. I am watching his progress. I do think he will do well. And I do believe he will be in Formula 1, more likely with Alfa Romeo. And not only that as well, if you put a guy like Mick in Formula 1, just for, you know, all right, let's say he's deserved to be there, or maybe let's say he doesn't deserve to be there, but someone has just snapped him up anyway. He's going to bring a lot of media attention, which means a lot more camera time, which means it'll attract more sponsorships, and maybe teams like Haas and Alfa Romeo could benefit from that. So maybe there are some ups and downs to this. Maybe it's more of a financial reason why they've signed Mick, or maybe it's just let's just get Mick in because he's in Formula 1. He needs to be shown to the world, but I would say let the guy have a chance. Let's see how he does. And if he doesn't deliver in Formula 2, give him a third season. We'll see how he does in the following season, in Season 3. But, in my opinion, at this present time, Robert Schwarzman is more deserving of that F1 driver role. But I'm not taking any away from Mick. I think he's a good driver. I think he can be in Formula 1 one day. Possibly Ferrari. Maybe one day. That would be pretty cool. The Schumacher name returning to Formula 1. Let me know in the comment section below about what you think about Mick Schumacher. Will he be going to Formula 1 next season? Will he be going to Ferrari one day? Or do you think, nah, this guy he's not deserving of a Formula 1 seat? There are definitely other drivers on the grid in Formula 2 that deserves it more than Mick. Next up, now I don't know if you are aware of this, but there's been a bit of a kerfuffle in the Formula 1 paddock recently. There's a car, a pink car. It looks like the Mercedes car of last year. I don't really know if you've heard of this. Renault, they're having a bit of a bargee with Racing Point, saying, oh, you guys you've transferred some data, and Racing Point are like, no, we haven't. We've just copied the car, photographs, and blah, 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 blah. This is our own way, and Renault are like, no, you haven't. You might not have heard of it, but it's big. It's big at the moment, you know, but I'm only kidding, of course. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of what's going on. Renault have protested against the Racing Point car in Austria and then again in Hungary, and I think they'll keep doing so until something is answered. The FIA are looking into it, and there's set to be an announcement about it all in the next couple of weeks, I would say. So hopefully we can have some sort of clarification on it and put this all to bed and actually focus on what matters, which is the racing. But also, this is quite interesting. I am enjoying this little battle, I'm not going to lie. So Racing Point have actually spoken out again about this, and basically saying that if they are found illegal with their car, or more, to be in more detail, the brake ducts, which is what Renault are protesting, by the way, against the whole car. And if the Racing Point car is deemed illegal by the FIA, then the Racing Point are going to actually appeal against it and just say, look, this is 100% not, there's been no data transferred between us and Mercedes. Now, when they unveiled their car in pre-season testing back in February, immediately people were like, that looks very familiar. You know this story by now. It's been a talking point throughout the course of the season. Racing Point have got off to a very good start. Couple of good positions as well. Maybe no podiums as of yet, but I think we will be getting 1 or 2 podiums from that Racing Point car. Currently sitting in 4th in the standings, which isn't too bad. Not a bad start to the season. Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll are getting the best out of it. And because they are the rivals of Renault, because let's say they're kind of a midfield team essentially, or a really good midfield team now, Renault are a bit peed off, let's just to put it politely. So obviously they're going to the FIA all the time, every single race. And like I said, they will be doing so. And Otmar Zaf now, the team principal of Racing Point, has said, it's boring now, it's getting on a bit. Look, this is our car, we've just copied it, we've explained it loads and loads of times, but Renault are having none of it. My opinion on this, I think Racing Point are perfectly legal with it. I think they have just done I would say the more logical solution to this, because if you can't beat them, join them. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, because the intention was for Racing Point to build, essentially copy off last year's Mercedes car, the car that won the Constructors. It was the fastest car by a mile last season, and rightly so. So, you know, the aero was good and everything else. I mean, they had a bit of cooling issues, but they did eventually solve them throughout the course of the season. Racing Point liked the idea, copied it, put it into this year's car, and look at what they are doing. Like I said, can't beat them, join them. Not a bad philosophy. And of course they've got Mercedes gearboxes and engines and stuff like that, which of course you are allowed to get. They are allowed to buy certain parts. I think it's listed parts you can get, unlisted parts you can't. I think I might have got that the wrong way around. Correct me if I am wrong. But there's certain parts you can have from other teams, customer teams, and there's other parts you can't. Mainly bodywork as well, I would believe, is one big aspect, which is why Renault are a bit peed off by this. But I think Racing Point stand perfectly legal with all this. I'm believing what Racing Point is saying, because if they are found illegal, if the car is found illegal and the data has been transferred, more than likely Racing Point will be kicked out of the championship. There'll be a hefty fine on top of this, and that isn't good going into a brand new deal with Aston Martin when the team gets rebranded as Aston Martin next season. Why would you want to start off or even jeopardize that deal by doing something illegal? It doesn't make any sense to me. So in my opinion, I think Racing Point have just hit the nail on the head. Of course, Renault are going to be peed off, and not only them, I think McLaren and I think AlphaTauri, and of course the other teams are a bit miffed by it, and they do believe that there's something going on. But when they've got the Mercedes gearbox, they've got Mercedes engine, so yeah, you are going to get a bit suspicious. But I just think that they've just copied it to perfection. Maybe the brake ducts, they look very, very similar, and I mean very, very similar. But I'm not into aero. I'm not into any technical side of Formula One, so I don't really know how that works. I just looked at it and went, yeah, they look similar. Very good. That's my analogy of it. And obviously, you guys will know better. Let me know in the comment section below. But in my opinion, yeah, I think Racing Point. Yeah, I think they're perfectly fine. Again, this could be proven wrong, and it could all come out in the wash. And Racing Point could say, okay, we hold our hands up, we transferred some data, and that's final. We are so sorry, guys. We did lie to you, and now look like a complete muppet, which isn't the first time, by the way. But no, I'm buying it. I think Racing Point, perfectly legal. They've done what everyone should really do. Maybe copy off the best team. I think they were saying previously that Racing Point were trying to go with a high rake kind of car with which is what the Red Bull car is mainly like, but they were getting Mercedes parts. Mercedes, of course, legal parts, by the way, and Mercedes parts and the car is low rake, so it wasn't really working out. So really they've just went, tell you what, let's build a Mercedes chassis on ourselves, get the parts in, it should all work together. And it is. Perfectly legal in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. This could get tasty. If you're a Ferrari fan, I would just turn this bit off for about 5 minutes, unless you have seen the statement already. Ferrari bosses have opened up and basically announced that they are not expecting any race wins until at least the new regulations in 2022. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Trust me, guys. I'm a Newcastle United supporter. I know that's football, but we've had our fair share of suffering over the years, and I can relate to Ferrari fans very easily. It's been a long time for success. Things aren't going your way. There's something wrong. We know what something wrong is. But yeah, we feel your pain. We really, really do. But anyways, back on to Formula One. Ferrari season this year, it hasn't been that good. I say it hasn't been that good. That's an understatement. It's been absolutely horrifically bad. Like, I can't express how bad it's been for the Tifosi. Sitting in 5th in the standings, a million miles away from Mercedes, runaway winners by a country mile. Vettel leaving at the end of the season. Charles Leclerc not satisfied with the car. Carlos Sainz coming in next year. And a chassis freeze for next season just to add on top of their problems. I'm not saying Carlos Sainz joining is a problem. I'm just saying the chassis is bad this year, and of course the engine as well. The FIA clamped down on the engine, and then yeah, there's just all sorts of problems. Yeah. So anyways, back on to it. So yeah, and the bosses at Ferrari have just said, well, they're asking for patience for those Ferrari fans, and well, actually in quotation marks he said suffering Ferrari fans. Dearie me, I'm so sorry, guys. I mean, in one degree, it's like a bit of a off. I mean, are you really surprised at this? Are you really surprised? Because, like I said, there's a chassis freeze on for next season, so there's not going to be much change from the current car to next year's car. So therefore, Ferrari's pace is going to be maybe a bit similar, could be a tad better in some degree, but mainly it's going to be another bad season from the Tifosi next season. So yeah, I'm like, I wasn't really expecting anything less, anything more. So yeah. Anyways, it could be worse, and maybe not. Let's hope it isn't anyway. But at the same time, I'm pleased that they've came out and said, look, be patient with us. It's not like they've went, next year it's going to be our year. We're going to get everything sorted, everything's going to be rosy, and just paint a picture that it's going to be good again. It's going to be our year, which is what Liverpool kept saying every single season, and now this year was actually their year. So, employ Jurgen Klopp as team principal. Nah, actually, no, maybe not. But at least, like, you know, you Ferrari fans could just be more relaxed, well, maybe not relaxed, but at least you're in the knowledge that next season isn't going to be that good, and hopefully 2022 is going to be your year. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm not really surprised by this statement. I'm pleased that there is some sort of like clarity and some honesty coming from Ferrari. Good signs. We'll have to wait and see about that. Like I think it was in Agree or Disagree, we were saying about the big regulation change for Ferrari. What's that going to be doing? It's going to be make or break for them in terms of if they can win the championship anytime soon. And that could basically be the reason why Charles Leclerc stays or leaves the team, because he's a driver that is capable of winning a world championship. If he's got the right car at his disposal and Ferrari can deliver, he will become world champion in a Ferrari. But Ferrari need to get their finger out the backside, get the act together, build a decent car. But if they don't, Charles Leclerc could look elsewhere to try and win himself a world drivers championship, because ultimately that's what he's there to do. So what do you think about it all? Do you think Ferrari can get the act together and actually build a winning car? Are you pleased about their honesty, or are you just like this is just going from bad to worse, absolutely shambolic from the Tifosi? Let me know what you think about it all in the comment section below. And finally, just a quick update on Alex Zanardi. Now, it was reported over the weekend that he had been moved back into intensive care after his condition had become unstable. But after that, he went through a 4th operation and is currently now in a stable condition in Milan. From both of us at the F1 Debate Show, we are praying that Alex Zanardi recovers from this, and our thoughts are with his friends and family at this difficult time. Come on, Alex, you can do this. You can fight this. Let's get through it. So this is where I'm going to wrap up F1 24/7. Thank you so much for watching as always. If you're new around here, then please like and subscribe as well. Comment below about anything that I've said in today's F1 24/7 news. Leave us your opinions. We love reading your guys' opinions. And of course, all the links to the articles that I've spoken about in today's F1 24/7 will be in the description below, so go and check them out and give them a read and give credit to the publicators who did come up with these articles. We've got a busy week ahead of us as always. It's British Grand Prix week. Normally we would be very, very hyped, but of course none of us are able to go, which is a bit of a somber mood right now. But nevertheless, racing is back. That's very good. We have got 2 Grand Prix at Silverstone, the British Grand Prix and the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. Let's get it done. So of course we've got a preview, our race review live, which is with Lyle, by the way, our live stream straight after the Grand Prix, the F1 Debate Show as always, so go and check them out when those videos go live. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. Watch what you're doing, stay safe as always, and until next time, I'll see you later.